All right. So glad to be back with you. We're continuing this series. Excellent opportunity for us to be together to empower your child, that child to overcome medium challenges. And when I say medium, we're just trying to find a balance. Some of you out there are working with children that are having very difficult, significant, severe challenges. Some of you are working with children 12 and under that are having what you might call milder symptoms or challenges. Wherever you are, we're trying to empower you to help your child by putting together an effective plan because that's what's lacking in our system, our medical systems, where you might have school based therapy or other things where the true empowerment comes in what I call daily therapy. I'm AJ McMahon. I've had over 27 years as a licensed counselor, but I come to you today more as a guide, as a fellow parent, as a coach, to be able to encourage you in your walk, wherever you are, personally or professionally, to put together a plan. And what we're missing is this help, this support, but we're not missing it here. We have this opportunity to encourage you to put together a plan. So, in the description in the video, I hope you like and subscribe so we can stay tuned and connected in this journey to empower the children that have been entrusted to you. I hope that you can check out previous videos in this series, part one and part two. Now, there's two parts to part two, because sometimes these videos have technical difficulties, but we marched on. Just all the links are there. So in part two, I got into the nuts and bolts of a plan, a comprehensive plan that we need because our children are smart and their first goals, unfortunately, are to maintain the status quo. We're really talking about children 12 and under. This can extrapolate to 13 in that range, although with some tweaks. And then when you're getting into older children, 14, then you definitely want to use your wisdom to tweak what we're talking about even more to apply to them and where they are developmentally. As we're talking about these developmental truths, we're talking about this effective plan from a comprehensive plan that starts the night before with encouragement, that goes to the next morning with encouragement, and throughout the day, it is a focus on implementing a specific plan based on what I would encourage as the LEAP steps. L in LEAP stands for love, the foundation that the child in your care knows that you love them. Now, I didn't say that you know that you love the child. It is that the child in your care knows that you love them. E, expectation of excellence, that you pick one specific thing that is foundational to empower your child towards, not the 5 and 7, 10 things that they might be struggling with, but to start with one specific thing. A, affirming accountability. Affirm with words and accountability with actions to empower your child comprehensively and effectively to overcome their challenges with consistency. Well, you want them to get to the point where they are consistent, but this plan empowers us to have a something we can believe in to be consistent with. And P in LEAP, perseverance. We've got to persevere. We've got to continue because what happens is our process changes. Our process is effective far longer, far beyond when you're going to see the performance of your child change. And that's when we can think that my child has a deficiency or some type of divergence or challenge that they can't overcome because we are not equipped in this world to persevere, to understand that things get worse before they get better. And even though we might hear that when we're getting the phone calls from school or we have these concerns or it is just stressing us out. We are looking for relief. We're looking for something that can turn the tide in these challenges when we've tried, nothing has worked. We get this opportunity to persevere with this plan because that's what it's going to take. That likely your child is not disordered, likely your child can overcome. And even if your child is on psychotropic drugs, where there's no shame or judgment about any of that, they have their role, but more so that we get the opportunity to understand the accurate information that children can overcome with a methodical, intentional plan to specifically empower them to build the skills necessary to overcome their challenges and succeed. And that's why we're here. So when we get in this comprehensive plan, we're going to talk about three saboteurs, three things that want to sabotage your comprehensive plan when you put it together. So again, refer back to part 2 of this series, Empowering Children to Overcome Medium Challenges, for details about the comprehensive plan. Let's talk about these three saboteurs. The first one is doubt. Because of what you've been through in your life, it can be easy for us to doubt because of what you're seeing or not seeing with the child that you're working with. It can be easy to doubt because of all the voices that you might hear in your community, around you, in your home. It might be easy to doubt yourself and your ability. I want you to know that the replacement for doubt is faith, a faith beyond yourself, a faith in yourself, and maybe a faith in a specific source or two, not a bunch of sources, but a specific source or two that you trust to be able to help you to not only put together your comprehensive plan, but to carry it out consistently. So you want to replace doubt with faith. Secondly, the second saboteur is undermining. Who or what is trying to undermine you and your empowerment when it comes to your child? Do you see yourself as a failure? Does anyone else? Are there voices in your ear? Are there people in your family or home that want to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about? You don't know what you're doing. And even though they might put it in a polite, sweet package, they're undermining you. What you're looking for is unity. Maybe this unity is vertical, maybe between you and your spiritual life, unifying in the spirit, unifying in your understanding of your faith. And that may be the unity that is the foundation for you to overcome the undermining. Maybe it's unity in someone that you're working with professionally or personally. A lot of times I can see great division in people in a home that care about a child, but they can have very different ways of going about it or believing how it should be done. And this can create great division. This can create undermining. How can you maybe be able to step back, have a little faith in yourself, but maybe also in your spouse or the other person that's working with the child? Now, if you have a co-parenting situation, this is not to say that you need the co-parent in a different home or situation to absolutely be on board with you when you're trying to put together a plan. Now, that would be great. But oftentimes, co-parents may see things differently. And it might be a stretch for you to feel like you've got to have unity when it comes to that co-parent. Now, yes, everything in our power, everything that we can control, we want to strive for unity in a healthy way. We want to bend over backwards as long as it's not breaking us, as long as it's not breaking us down, as long as it's not damaging our mental health or our well-being or that of the child, to be able to try to find unity with the co-parent. But if that is not possible in co-parenting, it's okay, because in your home, in your sphere of control, you can put together an effective plan and have an understanding with your child when they are with you that, hey, this is going to be our new culture, our new norm, our status quo, our understanding, how we're going to move forward, because I believe in you. I have faith in you. I have faith in myself. I have faith in God. I have faith that we can overcome this, and I'm going to empower you through these steps. And we're going to be able to get rid of the undermining, even that can come from within, right? From our own fears or insecurities or experiences. We can find a unity by being able to grab onto that faith, that belief, have this plan, and hopefully find someone else, your spouse, or maybe another family member, or maybe a professional that you can be on the same page with, that can be part of your support network, that you can overcome any aspects of division and have this unity. Then we want to get to what you're going to probably run into, especially if you're a female caregiver out there. You're going to run into what's often been called today big feelings. And I noticed something with my son Isaac, who is 6. And when he's with his mom, I mean, he just has all these big feelings. Now, this is a natural phenomenon. This is not about shame or blame or somebody's doing something wrong. It's a natural phenomenon of how children interact with their compassionate caregivers, which is typically their female caregivers, where children will often display more emotional. I mean, they'll cry, whine. I mean, these big emotions and everything's kind of elaborate. I mean, even boys or females will do this, and they can have these big feelings, right? And with that compassion, oftentimes we want to be able to affirm them. We want to empathize with them. We want to accept their feelings. And at the same time, we want to emphasize what can help us overcome the saboteur of big feelings and feeding a little bit more into that than we need to. What can overcome that saboteur is control. To be able to use the faith, the unity, and to believe in your child's ability to control themselves beyond what you're seeing or maybe what you believe. That it is likely that your child can control themselves, that your child's feelings are valid, but they don't have to rule the day. That you can have expectations that, one, we can find a control in ourselves because, man, it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating when we're dealing with children and we're working with them, we're trying to empower them, but all the feelings and the tears and the and the challenges that they may be having, sometimes we got to take a step back, be able to get control of ourselves, and then be able to put together a polite empowerment that just says, hey, I get it, you're upset. At the same time, you can do this. I'm going to expect you to control yourself. I'm going to expect you to get it together. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Your feelings are valid, but how are you going to be successful in this world if you let your feelings run you? You know, if you let your feelings be in control, we are going to be in control of ourselves as parents, as caregivers, as professionals. And I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to challenge you to expect a level of control with your child and how they handle themselves, not to dismiss their feelings, but to handle themselves well despite their feelings. Because think about the success we have in life when we do that as adults. But think about the challenges that people run into in life when they don't. And we're trying to empower our children today and for their future. So I want to encourage us to be able to cast away the doubt through faith, to be able to overcome the undermining. I don't know about overcoming undermining pictures there, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. With unity, who can you unify with? And to be able to overcome the big feelings with controlling ourselves and expecting a level of control. You might be amazed at what you can see, the transformative effects of how you can see your child be able to pull themselves together and overcome challenges when you expect a level of control that may be beyond that might be beyond, I said it, popular belief. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the opportunity we get to overcome these saboteurs as you put together your comprehensive plan. And we want to talk more about this comprehensive plan. What are your questions? Please put them in the comments below. And so we can look at any questions that you might have, any gaps where you're trying to put together your comprehensive plan, things that I can fill in to be able to encourage and empower you. So stay tuned, stay connected, stay involved as we continue this series of empowering children to overcome medium challenges. I'm going to read this medical disclaimer today. And this for the process. This information is for educational and empowerment purposes and does not constitute medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice that you believe in, you have faith in. It's not a substitute for appropriate diagnosis or treatment. You should always consult with your qualified health provider for any medical concerns and never disregard the medical advice that you trust and believe in. Um, Thank you for being here. I want to continue to encourage you, and we'll see you next time.